Hello guys, welcome to a new video. It's me, I suppose, back with another video. Today we're talking about variables and literals. What is a variable? A variable is a container that stores data. For example, you can use the variable x that can contain like 5 or 7, for example. A variable has to have a name and stores values in it. So if you want to think of variables, if you want to think of a variable, think of a container and then put something in the container, and then that's what a variable does. You should not define the same variable again and again. Each variable name should be unique, which means if it's the same variable, it will not work if it has different meanings of the same variable. First, you need to declare the variable so that the space is allocated in the computer memory. Then you initialize the variable with a value that you want to use in your code. You cannot mix and match a variable data type, and the value stored inside the variable. For example, if you declare a variable should store integers and numbers in it, you cannot put alphabets like A, B, C, D into it. So as you can see here, this is an example. So we are declaring a variable with the variable is x into x, and then the variable x will now store integer values because it says into x. And then down next line says into AB. This makes space in the memory for multiple variables. So now we have the assignment statement. So A equals 1, 2, 3. A is the variable, 1, 2, 3 is the literal. B is the variable in the next line, and 25 is the literal. So numbers are literals, and B and A and anything before the numbers is a variable. And then we have an inline initialization statement. Int C equals A plus B. Rules for creating a variable. Variable names cannot contain spaces. Example, integer number with a space equals 10 is wrong because the variable does not work. Variable names start with a lowercase and uppercase for every first letter for new word in it. An example is my number is 0. Variable names can start with any money symbols or underscores. Variable names are very case sensitive, so if there's a slight change in it, it'll be a different variable. So there's a bunch of types of variables. Depending on how the variables can be accessed by the code and modified, variables can be classified into 3 types. The local variable. Those variables are available inside a small part of code inside a method. Code outside the method cannot see or use them. It is best if you declare and initialize before you can use it in your program to avoid unintended errors later. Default values are not assigned to your local variables. If you declare a variable and then try to use it without initializing it, your code will generate a compiler warning, which shows that your variable is not working. So there's 2 more, the instancer and the static variable, which we will discuss in other videos. So here we have an example. You can pause the video and look at it, but I'm going to talk about what it is. So as you can see here, the variables my variable 2 and my variable 1 cannot see my variable 3 because that is inside the main, or that's in the main string, and variable 3 is outside of the main string. So inside it is variable 1 and variable 2, and inside is variable 1 and variable 2, and outside is variable 3. What is a literal? A literal is a fixed value that we assign to a variable. Integer literals are assigned to variables of data types that are byte, short, int, and long. Short s equals 100. That is an example of an integer literal. Float literals are assigned to variables of data types that are float or double. Double D equals 22.3. If you're wondering what shorts, floats, and doubles are, we'll explain that in another video. Entire video all about these data types. Char literals are assigned to variables of the data type that are char. Char C equals B. You have to use single quotes for char literals. And then for the string literals, those are assigned to the data type that are string. String book name equals beginner Java. You have to use the double quotes for the string literals. A non-literal is used to initialize a non-primitive data type. This means that the variable has no value assigned to it and is not available for use. Here's a fun fact. New Java versions allow you to use underscore instead of comma or separator to separate digits in groups. For example, a credit card number might be 1234 underscore 567 underscore 890L. And a social security number might be 222 underscore 44 underscore 555L. So, I hope you learned something from this video. If you did, please subscribe and like. Our goal is 40 subs, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.